Hey, look, it's going to be our special guest today to help code a web page and learn about paragraphs, bold, italics, emphasis, containers, nesting, things like that. Let's get right started right now by copying some text. Going to copy 2 paragraphs, copy, and just move that down. In JS Fiddle, within the HTML area, paste that text. When you click on Run, you're going to see all that text jammed together because HTML does not respect spacing. It's not even going to respect the return right here. And as spaces go, you can see I put many spaces here and click on Run, and it doesn't show up. So HTML does not respect spacing. That's okay. We'll use a block element paragraph tag to create some space. Another block element you can use is the div tag. Here, paragraph tag kind of makes sense in the telling the story of this content for a basic HTML page. Begins with a paragraph, ends with a slash paragraph, the end closing element, and as soon as I hit run, you see the separation of space. Now, just because the space is separated doesn't mean that we shouldn't tell the same story with that other paragraph, because who knows, maybe you want to add a third paragraph that we don't add in the paragraph tags around that other paragraph, this block here. Even though it renders correctly, looks visually correct right now, maybe in the future someone will add more text and all of a sudden it'll be all smashed together, and you don't want that. So the creation of HTML content is the story about really marking up things, such as paragraphs. This way, they'll render properly in the browser now. Even though I added the paragraph, nothing else happened. When I hit render, the run button didn't change. It's just preparing for the future. Let's say we had this other paragraph, and let me not copy that one. Let me copy this one from here. When the next piece of content flows in, hit run, there is a separation again. We're in the same position where, oh yeah, this paragraph's spacing block element is being projected downward to create that extra space, so it's read correctly out in the browser. And with that third paragraph there, I should add the paragraph tag, like here, and slash paragraph slash p. So opening element, closing element is one way to make that statement. The other way to describe it is it's p slash p, or it's less than sign p greater than sign, and the closing element is less than sign slash the letter p, or whatever letter you're using for the element, greater than sign. So follow that pattern. When I hit run, still looks right, and you're just preparing the content for the future. We're future-proofing it, just like when I added that third paragraph. Now make sure you hit save every once in a while. All right, next, let's use the bold tag. And the bold, black pink, is bolded here. I'm going to add the B tag. Now, when I start typing, before I continue, you see all this red stuff. If you see that happen, don't ignore it. That means something's wrong. Maybe I just didn't finish the tag, which is true in this case, or maybe some tag is out of order. Be curious of why all that red shows up. And many different integrated development environments will give you these clues, visual clues like, oh yeah, something's wrong. You as a human should go check it because it knows how to flag it. It's not going to correct it. Not yet. Waiting till the AI take over with it. So I want it to be B. And I'm going to take this slash B and paste it at the end of their name. So black pink, when I hit run, there it is. Let's do something in italics, then emphasis. So this is italic right here. I. And slash I, auto completion happens. I'm cutting that slash I, that closing tag, and just pasting it where it belongs. I'll click on run again. Beautiful. Now, emphasis. Italic and emphasis, they might render the same right now. But in the future, when you're using the style sheets, you can define them to look different to let readers know, oh yeah, you meant to emphasize this. It's not just making something italic because it's the title of something. Biggest girl group in the world. I want to emphasize that. I'm going to use the EM tag. EM. And take that /EM and put it here. Hit run, and well, it looks the same. Why? Most browsers, unless the user changes the setting, most browsers will render italic emphasis the same. It's up to us to redefine what emphasis is. Maybe we want to leave it alone because a lot of creating stuff for the web is about giving the users control on the way it renders on their side. I know as a designer that totally sucks, but we need to give a little wiggle room. So we can't always just force a design upon the end user because we don't know what browser they're using. We don't know how they might adjust the browser. And trying to force the issue sometimes will just make your web page look broken. And HTML itself was designed to survive. Like if I just get rid of this emphasis, the /emphasis, see how I'm getting all that red stuff? I shouldn't do this, but okay. It's still red here, meaning somewhere something went wrong. We know what went wrong, but I'm going to ignore that for now. If I hit render, run, and render to the browser, you can see that, oh yeah, everything is now emphasized after this EM and never stops leaking out even beyond this paragraph and goes on for the rest of the page, but the information's there. And that was the point of HTML, to communicate, being robust enough that even when things are broken, you still get the content across. And for the majority of the time, it will work. Still, as a designer or coder, you kind of want to fix this. So I'll just hit undo to go fix that. Hit run. There we go. So leaving out the closing tag will break the look of the content, but hopefully the content still will be communicated. The last thing I want to deal with is the nesting, the idea of nesting. Well, what do I want to nest? Well, what if I wanted this word to be bold and italic, right? Mind-blowing. So if the inside of this container, think of italics as a circle, and either end of the circle is italic / italic with stuff inside. If I want it to also be bold, I can make another circle around it, bold, bold, and then on the inner circle is italic, italic, or vice versa, italic, italic, and on the inner circle is bold, bold, and then content. All this means is if a tag is on the outside, like /bold, then comes italic, then you close that italic container, and then you close that bold container. Your HTML will be very happy that you did it that way. Could it work? A little overlap? It can visually work. It will maybe render out correctly a few times or maybe always, but it's technically not correct, and at some point it might break visually and you're not going to be happy. So just follow the rule. Nesting. Outside, inside, content. Things can also overlap, like let's say I take this a little further out. What if it's not just that word that's bolded, but I also wanted to bold everything down to here? So I can extend that bold since it's the outside container. Hit run. And we have bold beginning, italic, but only this first word is italicized. It closes. And this bold container goes from here all the way down here. So it's still not overlapping. It's not like this. It's still a circle and a smaller circle on the inside. So nesting, make sure to nest things. Put P tags, paragraph tags to separate blocks of information, or in the future, use the div tag to separate blocks of information. Emphasis is something where you want to emphasize, stress this word. And italics is more of a mechanical copy editing reason to make something italic. The final thing I'll cover really quickly is styling. Since the paragraph is here, what if you want everything to be sans serif? You could define this on the body level. I could define it also on the paragraph level. Since it's already a word within the language, it's already an element, I don't need to use classes dots to define things. You can, because you want to maybe modify the first paragraph to look different than others. Different lesson, different video. Here I just want all paragraphs to be sans serif. So font family, font hyphen family, colon, and sans dash serif. And when it's in purple, you typed it correctly, code hinting, and hit run. All the paragraphs will now be sans serif. You could also define bold. Everything in bold, maybe you want to be in red. So bold, color, and red, you could type in the word red, R-E-D, run. I could also equally type in the hexadecimal, such as pound FF full of red, no green, no blue, run. Still is red, so all these are equivalent. And the last way is to type in RGB for red, green, blue, and it's a bracket with a semicolon, and going from 0 to 255, 255 means 100% of that color registry. So 255 for full of red, nothing of green, nothing of blue. And just to prove that it's not broken, what if I reverse this, where it's no red, no green, but lots of blue, 255, run, blue. So every element, you can modify its look and its behavior on the page, from a block element to inline element, from inline element to a block element, see that in a future video, by modifying the styles. Hope you enjoyed this introduction to some base elements, and I look forward to some comments if you need any help and the work you do. Put a hyperlink into the comment section. See you next time.